All right, guys.
You gotta find your writing pencil.
Let's get this thing going so y'all can get in the ring and do something. I just want to get together with some of you guys. Some of them I know, some of them I don't know. We want to talk to you some things about independent wrestling. Now, we've all been independent wrestling, a lot of you guys for years. A lot of guys were trained in different places, but there's some things going on that I want to talk about and have you think about that you might want to correct in the ring. The one thing that I worked with you guys before out here was whipping from corner to corner. If you watch shows and you watch guys whip guy from this corner to that corner, they like to do this. They like to take one step and then the guy has to run the rest of the way by himself. That's totally ridiculous. Those fans want to see you whip the guy. It's called a shuffle. You can maybe shuffle your feet.
Or you just watch too much lucha.
That could be it too.
Because the lucha guys, they do the same thing. They're just like, they have more effort going into the roots.
So think about that when you work and you're whipping the guy. Think about that little shuffle move that gets you further. You want to be at least in the center of the ring when you give the guy the whip. And you want to go ahead and make it look strong. You can put your hand on his back and give him a little extra shove. Don't push him so hard he loses balance. Okay? That's one of my biggest pet peeves in the Indies.
The Rock's an awful example of wrestling, but he's a great example of shooting somebody over the ropes.
Yes, watch those guys out there. You don't see them do that.
With his hand across the knee back.
Yeah. You don't see those guys do it. When you watch WWE, TNA, Evolve, Dragon Gate, any of these bigger groups, CWZ, FIP, all these guys, watch them. Go ahead and enjoy it. Watch it as a fan. Stop watching it as a fan when it's over. Rewind it. Watch it again as a worker. Watch the workers that you're interested in. Pay attention to what they do. Turn the sound down, whatever you want. Pay attention to the workers in the ring and how they do the moves and what kind of moves they do. I'm always big, and we're talking all the time about facial expressions. If you watch Undertaker and CM Punk's match, watch their faces. Don't even pay attention to the moves. Watch the facial expression from Punk and Undertaker. That is what the fans key on, is whether you are showing pain, surprise, happiness, when you got a headlock and you're actually working that, it shows in your face, it shows in your body movement, it shows in everything you're doing. And I know that sounds like, oh my God, he's talking stupid, simple stuff. Think about it. When you practice that. Here's a camera I got right here. The reason I got a camera on me doing this is because I'm going to look at it later and see my strengths and my weaknesses. You all should be doing that. If you can't afford a camera, ask somebody with the camera. Please do my match so that you're watching it. Don't go home and watch your match and go, oh my gosh, I look great. No, you don't. You don't have enough matches. You're indie guys. You can always improve in every phase of the game. Don't sit there and say, oh, that's great. Sit there and say, where are my weaknesses? What looks like I could make better? Do that. Stop letting it go to your head and start using your brain in your head. Okay? It's simple. I did it in the 80s. I recorded my match at home. I watched it. I said, that looked like crap. Next time I get to the ring, I'm going to work on that. It's very simple. Keep a notepad so that you can do this and bring it to here and do it. Always advise guys, keep notes and bring it to your practice. Study it when you're home. It's important. Believe me, it will pay off. Whether you think it will or not, it will. The other thing I want to talk to all you guys about, and I want to bring this up, is fantasy wrestlers. Now I started, you guys started with a particular wrestler that you really like, a wrestler that you like, that you want to be like that guy. That's fine, if you can be like that guy. Don't choose Stone Cold Steve Austin and you're 150 pounds or you're 350 pounds. You're never going to be Stone Cold Steve Austin. Learn your weaknesses. Think about your weaknesses. Think about your strength. Develop your own gimmick and your character. Do not try to be that wrestler on TV. Think about what you can do. what you are special at, what is good for you, because that's what you want to show the fans, what you can do well. You don't want to show them the things that Stone Cold did and you can't do them. You don't want to show them that you're CM Punk. They already see him every Monday. Well, not right now, he's off for a while, but you get it? They already see that stuff. Don't show them the same stuff. Show them you, your character, your personality. Connect with that crowd. You know, and that drops us back to facial expressions and connecting with the crowd. We'll get on, let me mention this. This word.
The thing with the facial expressions too is like, you gotta imagine like, you're not just selling to the front row. Like you gotta imagine you're selling to these imaginary rafters. You know, it's very theater-like where, you know, they wear big makeup. That's why you have to make big expressions so everybody in the back can see what's going on with your face. Because every show doesn't have a screen on the back wall or something like that. So you gotta make everything big. You have to sell shit, but people don't understand what's going on. They don't feel for you. If you don't react right, then they're not going to respond right.
Absolutely, it is theater. That's exactly what we're doing. We are doing theater. It's athletic. It's hard to do. Everybody thinks they can be a wrestler. That drives me insane. The people that think I watch wrestling on TV so I can do it. They don't even bother to go get trained. They just jump in the ring and say they can do it. No other business, no other sport, nothing. You don't think you're as good as a master carpenter because he's really good. He's been on the job for a long time. He's learned that. That's what it takes. You can't be the greatest wrestler in the world until you've paid your dues, you've been trained, and you've been in this business and learned it in the ring. A lot of guys, and I've talked to some of y'all here, a lot of guys have been in business 5 years. They say, okay, 5 years, how many matches have you had? Well, about once a month. Okay, so in 5 years, you've had 60 matches. So you're not a 5-year veteran, you're a 60-match veteran. There's a big, big difference in that. How many matches you've been in the ring and worked is what you are. That's where you learn. So think about that. You know, okay, I've been in this business, around this business for 5 years. Now, I need to get my butt in here, I need to work so I can book, so that I can be the wrestler that I really want to be. Part of being a wrestler is being in shape and athletic. You don't have to be. Let's see this guy in the gym every day. You know, he's not a bodybuilder that's 300 pounds. He's in the gym every day. It helps being almost 7 foot tall, but, you know, that's what you got to think about. How much do I want to give back to this? And part of giving back is getting athletic shape. You do not have to be a bodybuilder, but you've got to be in shape. You can't get out there and blow up in the 3rd minute you're in the ring. You can't go out there and make people think you're an athlete if you don't look somewhat like an athlete. And here comes, what about Brodus Clay? Well, unless Snoop Dogg is your adopted dad, forget about Brodus Clay. You know, what about Tinton? Well, you better look and see how many years he's been in the business and learn. You know, think about these guys, where they came from. Yeah, not a great character, but how many of y'all would take that spot? Everybody can take that spot. It's money. It's money. That's what we're doing. Now I'm going to go through this. This is called progression. It is the only word that matters in wrestling. Everything else doesn't matter because wrestling is progression. Everything. Think about it. Think about it. When you start a match and you're telling a story, you start simple in the beginning. You're going to start bad guy, good guy. So you're going to start off, the good guy will start and prove that he's a better wrestler than the bad guy. It's a simple start, simple story. 99% of indie wrestlers cannot tell a simple story in the ring because you guys will get in the ring and you'll start off and then all of a sudden you start doing move after move that makes no sense. It just pops in your brain so you do it. Let's try not to do that. Let's try to think about a simple story. Get your simple story down first. So your progression goes from here to here on your story. That's the match that starts. That's the bell that ends it. So everything you do, you start slow and it builds up to the finish. To an exciting finish, we hope, right? Everything also works that way. I talked to a guy and he was saying, I didn't like the guy who did that match because when he kicked out, he didn't get his shoulder off the mat in the last second. And he said, well, he was like 5 minutes in. No, it should be hold it so the fans will pop. And I said, no, it's a progression. If you get a cover right here in the match, a 1 count, kick out. It's early, you're fresh. Why would you be down to 2.5? 2.5, 2 3/4 is up here where it's been a long match. You're trying to get that crowd on its feet.
It's a basic match.
Basic.
This is basic match.
That's what I'm talking about. A basic starting first story you're going to get in there and tell match. That's what you want to do. Everything progresses. When you do a promo, doesn't it progress? You start off slow, you're talking, you slowly build that promo up to at the end of the promo, you're getting your point across strong. Is that right? So that's a progression. That's what you're doing. That's what everybody does in your first 5, 6, 7 years in the ring. Get your first story match down where you can do that any way that you need to do it. You can get in there and tell this basic story. What happens is, get that eraser here. That's level 1. Level 1, like I say, 99% of the guys can't make level 1. They get in the ring and they make mistakes and they forget, they panic. Everybody talks the match over in the back, you get in the ring, you miss a spot, all of a sudden you freeze in the ring and you go, I missed a spot. Whoa, what am I going to do? Do that. Just go on. The fans weren't in the back listening to what you guys were planning to do. They don't know you missed a spot. Grab a headlock, just grab something, calm down. Take your time, talk to each other, go back with it. You see a lot of guys.
Miss a spot, we're not going to go back into the spot.
No. Be smarter than that.
Go to the next spot, segue. Don't that much of a mark.
Now, I know I'm smaller than him, but when you take a headlock, I see a lot of these guys, they're like this. That's not a headlock. That's a headlock. Why? We can communicate. So he can say something.
And you want to display the guy's face too. You want the guy to be able to be like.
I would always do mine here, so I'm on the jaw. So you do it. That's I learned on now. And we can talk. Absolutely. So that's just very simple stuff. Because you went up to WrestleCon and you got to do a tryout up there. Yes. You learned a lot, right? Yes. Because what they did, what did they want to see? They wanted to see the basics, right?
They didn't want you to do what you thought they wanted to see. They wanted to see what you were capable of.
Right. And that's the basics. Even as an arm drag, when you lock up, and for God's sakes, guys, lock up. This is my other pet peeve. Two guys in the ring, this is what they do. Here, just do what I do. We're in the ring, we're locking up. They start doing this. I'm going, holy crap, they go like this 3 times. Who the hell wants to see that? And what real fight does that happen in? None. Watch MMA, watch boxing. When they get in the ring, they start doing that. Try to cut him off.
Cut corners, yeah.
And then when they lock out,
who the more dominant person is in that role, whether it's heel.
if I'm the smaller guy, I don't want you to cut me off. So I'm trying to find my angle that I can get.
If you're a baby and you got a lot of aggression, you're always going to go straight to the heel. The heel should always cower, definitely.
Yes. But when you lock up, for God's sakes, lock up like it means something,
Yeah.
Grab that guy. I see guys doing this all the time. Up there waving at their girlfriend. Your hand goes back here. You're in control of your work. So it's just basic, simple stuff. Most guys already know it.
When you do that, when you make that, mix them. It's like a stick of dynamite going on. Makes an impact.
The way it was explained to me, like two rams coming together.
Yeah.
You're bullying.
I catch myself doing it a lot too nowadays, where it's just like, you're just like, it's like
you're thinking
that way.
You're thinking of the moves, you're thinking of things, and you
Get
got
the next move.
to lock up and then think. This is all very simple. It's little things that you can tweak to make it just a little better in the ring in front of people. All right, we'll go back to, I want to go back to progression again. And Dagon kind of brought up, it was the first match. As you go to level 2, please get level 1 down where you can tell a story in the ring.
I just want to say that also that scenario was the same for tag
Yes.
It's the exact same story. You just have two more people involved. It's the same thing. It's shine, keep, shine.
Absolutely. Now, tag team wrestling has kind of gone down because you don't really get to see as much as was happening in the 80s and the 90s. If you can, go to YouTube and look that stuff up and watch the tag teams from back then. There's smart stuff on there, unfortunately, but